Welcome back to a brand new episode of N8 Unscripted. Yeah, you're going to be lucky you get out of bed today. We are coming to you from the spotlight conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. We're going to kind of blow right through this a little bit, the intro here, because we got a lot to get through. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. I really want to thank my sponsor, the law offices of Shaheen Gordon. ShaheenGordon.com is their URL. Boy, if you need an attorney for a trust, a will, maybe you hit the lottery, ShaheenGordon.com, 603-614-5560. I had a chance to head out to Peterborough, talk with the cast of Native Gardens out there, new play coming up, and we're going to kind of jump right into it. 4 people in the cast. The first that you're going to hear is the young couple.
Why don't you introduce yourself and then tell me a little bit about your background, and we'll go from there.
I'm Robert Ariza. I'm playing Pablo del Valle in Native Gardens, and I am from Queens, New York. My father is from Colombia, and my mother is from El Salvador.
Hi, I'm Bianca Rivera Arians, and I am playing Tanya in Native Gardens. I am from Tampa, Florida, and I'm a very proud Puerto Rican woman.
Wonderful. What gave you your first hook to ever want to perform it on?
Oh gosh, my parents like to say that I came out of the womb singing. So I've always been drawn to music.
Do we know the tune?
Screaming. but I've always been drawn to music, and I actually was not really exposed to theater growing up, even being from New York. So I loved Disney movies. I loved musicals without knowing really what they were. Yeah. So growing up, I remember, I have these memories of performing to like an invisible audience on the couch, like singing A Whole New World and Part of Your World, and it wasn't until I was about to start high school. I was going to be attending LaGuardia Arts High School, the famed high school, but I was going as a voice major, and I thought that I was going to be like NSYNC. Like I thought I was going to be part of a boy band. That's what the dream was for me. And I showed up to the first day, and it was like, here's your 24 Italian arias that you're going to learn, and kind of blew my mind. But I was on board for it, And the summer before I started high school, there was a community theater group in my neighborhood that was doing a production of Footloose. And so my mom was like, hey, they're going to be doing some singing thing. You should probably go audition for it since you're about to start high school at this art school. So I went not knowing what Footloose was, not knowing really what musicals were. And I auditioned for it. And the next day, my family, we took this trip every summer to go to Rochester to visit my family up there for a few weeks. And so I didn't realize that I was going to be missing anything. And so I got a call the night after my audition, and it was the director. He said, hey, we loved your audition. We're so glad that you came in. But it says on your form that you're going to be leaving tomorrow for 3 weeks. Is that correct? And I was like, yeah, we're going on a family trip. And he's like, okay, well, we wanted to give you a call back. And I was like, you did call me back. Because I didn't know what a callback was, right? So he's like, okay, how about this? Just come when you're back from your vacation, come to the first rehearsal, and we'll see if this is something that you want to be a part of. I was like, oh, okay. Very confused about whether or not that was a good thing or a bad thing. So I go to my trip, I come back, I go to the first rehearsal, and they perform the opening number for me. They literally have me seated, and they do it for me. And my jaw was on the floor. I mean, I was like, I had never seen anything like it. And I was like, they were like, yes, is this something that you want to do? And I said, yes, put me on that stage immediately. And I think from there, it was just like, I knew that I just loved it, yeah.
Amazing. When I was 5, my mom somehow got her hands on a copy of Wicked, the cast album before it was released.
5, she's talking about Wicked. I'm like 70 years old. I'm thinking we're going to go.
No. And she played it for me, and I was obsessed, and I just put it on repeat, and I could not stop. I grew up in Tampa, and we lived really close to our local touring house, the Strat Center, so I started doing classes there, and I would just see every show that came through on tour, and I became obsessed with it. I thought it was going to be a hobby for me. Until my mother, once again, revealing all my secrets, she applied for me to go to the Carnegie Mellon pre-college program for musical theater. I had no clue. She got in for me, And I ended up going the summer before my senior year and falling in love with it and realizing this is something I wanted to do as my career path, and then pursuing it from there.
So, let's talk about the play a little bit. You're going to introduce this probably to an audience that has never heard of it for the most part. I was so grateful that they sent me the link to go check it out. What do you think how do you think people will react to the situations that are going on? It gets crazy in the video I saw, the little clips. This thing just has a life of its own that explodes on stage. So what do you hope that people leave here thinking about when they're going to see themselves? Are they going to change their lives? Is it going to be something that is moving, touching, life?
Yeah.
What do you hope?
I mean, I think it definitely is a comedy, and there's so much fun in the physicality of it and the heightenedness of it. I do hope that people leave recognizing things in each of the four main characters that they see in themselves, and that they,
I saw my oak tree.
There you go, right. And so I just hope that they are able to see how the part of the beginning of building a bridge and having a communication, an open communication about any kind of disagreement is finding that common ground, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think what this play does so beautifully is it gives you that opportunity to see both sides of this argument and really start to think, oh, actually, they're kind of right about that. Oh, they also are kind of right about that. And it goes back and forth. And so I hope that they leave with that sense of, oh, maybe I've been looking at things on my one side for so long that I haven't even started to think about the other perspective.
Yeah, I hope it starts discussions like that, understanding where your neighbors, literally and metaphorically, where they're coming from, and starting those conversations, especially in the climate that we are living in right now, starting to understand people that are different from you, instead of coming at it with such bias and judgment. So I'm hoping we just start some conversations.
So you're playing the younger couple. Are you finding it difficult to relate to the situation?
In some ways, yes, just because I am not a lawyer and I am not married and I'm not expecting a child and I haven't bought a house. All those things feel so far away from my reality as a poor little actor. But that's also part of our job, to find out what those scenarios feel like for us. And I think, we're getting there. We still have some time left to figure it out. But I think
not much.
But there is time. And I think that really the focus is trying to figure out the humanity of these people. And that all these characters are very human, regardless of what their scenario is. Like I understand the struggle that Pablo has trying to be someone to prove himself in a country that he's not from, and in a business that is cutthroat. Like I can relate to that. Our industry is very much cutthroat, and also, things are a little bit different now, but when I first started performing, like I very much felt like I had something to prove as a Latino actor in this business. Like, I mean, there was very little space for me, and so I felt like I had to fight to create that space,
Yeah, I felt really immediately connected to Tanya. I feel so many of my family members and their stories within her, so many things that I've heard throughout my childhood, and what people have gone through, and the biases and the assumptions people make about Latino women, and all of that felt so connected in this piece. And it's such an honor to get to delve into that and feel that I get to represent my people, my family through her.
Yeah. It's interesting you use that word honor in the play. Right? A lot of people just come in, they rehearse, they do the thing, they put it up, and they go home. Honor. It's not something that folks attach a lot to a production very much. How much time? I don't want to take up there. Okay. So there's only 4 people on stage, which can create...
4 speaking people, anyway. There are some others.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, a little spoiler. How is the ensemble working? Forgive me for bringing up this kind of... the give and take is so important, especially in a small cast, because people can't hide. There's no ensemble that you're in the back or whatever. So how important is that to you of the give and take? Because there can be people who come in and they're like, I don't care, I'll just do my part and I'll go home. To you, as a couple, as a people playing the younger couple, how important is that ensemble, that teamwork part, not the ensemble, the teamwork part to you?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's incredibly important, especially in a show, like you said, with such a small cast, and the four of us have to create this connection so quickly in this short amount of time that we have. But I do feel like we have such a wonderful cast, and I feel very much like it's been very easy to develop this relationship. Thankfully, I have been working with Bianca, for a couple of weeks now. We've been doing spelling bee together, so we have been able to kind of get to know each other a little bit more. But this is my first time getting to work with Kurt and Anne Marie, and they're wonderful. And I feel a lot of it is just feeding off of what they give us, and back and forth like that. So it is important, but I think that we are doing it. Yeah.
Well, I told you were going to like it. That's first block down already. Hard to believe. You are listening to NH Unscripted, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. You're listening to an interview that I did out at the Peterborough Players out there in Peterborough. We got a lot more to cover. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Yeah, we are coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester on your Sony Walkmans. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. I had the beautiful chance to go out to the gorgeous campus of the Peterborough Players out in Peterborough. They asked me to come out and chat with the cast of Native Gardens out there. So you are listening to, on the site, interviews that I had with them. The play is coming up shortly. I believe by the time you hear this, the first weekend will already have kicked off, but we're going to jump right back into the interview, so hang on.
Yeah.
I think ensemble is everything, especially in a short time frame and with such a small cast, and everyone has come into the rehearsal space incredibly generous, including our director, and willing to play and try new things. It is a comedy, so a lot of it is just playing with each other, seeing what works, what's funny, what's not, finding that rhythm together. And when it is such a generous environment, it creates a sense of trust. So it's safe. You can try and play and have a great time. So
that is
everything.
Huge.
Yeah.
That is huge to be able to have that without coming in with a lot of preconceived ideas, although there are because you have the vision. But to be able to just throw things out as an actor and go, oh, yeah, that works. Oh, that's new. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's really huge. Are there many moments like that for you where you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what's beautiful about it too is that without stepping on each other's toes, I feel like we have all been able to contribute to each other's characters and the choices that are, that are made. And there have been some amazing offerings that Kurt and Anne Marie have given about our characters and vice versa,
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is huge because it adds so much texture to your character, a little bit more depth, Oh, am I?
No, you're good. I have to go meet our costume designer.
Okay, all right. Let me know when my time's up.
You got about 3 more minutes with these two.
Thank you. So, one of the great, and if it's done well, the audience doesn't know that you've added all of these textures and layers. And a lot of times they come in, especially in the summertime, they're going to watch Annie or My Fair Lady or something. Yeah. It's very rote. So the richness of what they get to take home with them and emote through, because they're voyeurs, basically, right? An audience is basically a voyeur, so they're watching these two couples. Are there things that you brought in that you're like, that's just not going to work? I thought it would, but no, I can't. I'm going to have to toss that.
Yeah, I think actually we were having a moment today with our director where we were talking about the tone of the piece and And I think both Bianca and I were sitting in it a little bit in a lower place.
Yeah.
But the even though it is like very much a realistic set and realistic scenario, it is a heightened comedy. And I think that was something that we had to like adapt our thinking of.
Did that not come through? Sorry to interrupt. Did
Yeah.
that not come through the initial reading?
I mean, it did, but I think there was still this idea that like, okay, but we want to stay grounded in the realism of it. But we don't need to do that. The play already does that on its own textually. So our job is to then bring it to that heightened level to make it to keep it comedic,
Yeah.
because otherwise it can't.
Right.
I mean, we deal with very serious conversations in this piece, and if we really sink into that, it starts to feel less of comedic, right? Even though, and there's a fine balance where you are making this text heightened and broad and comedic, but still getting that message across and having those ideas being planted into, not pun not intended, planted into the minds of the audience.
Yeah, and I think working with Melissa, who knows this material so well, is so helpful. And I think it is easy when you're reading anything out of context to put your own context of your own life and what's happening when it isn't necessarily when this play was written or when it's based. So having someone who knows the material so well that can really help guide you and understand what is the message of this play, what we're doing, the genre, the style, is incredibly helpful. And I know I had to throw out a lot of what I thought the play was because she explained it to me and showed me, no, this is it. This is what we're creating here.
Yeah, that's that vision, right? The
Yeah.
director carries that vision. Do you think that you're getting? I mean, obviously you're still a few days out, but is that vision? You feel supportive of that vision now? Or you're like, oh, I get it. Oh, I know, yeah,
Absolutely.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. So you're comfortable. You're very comfortable in what you're.
Yeah, excited to show people.
Oh man, I can't wait for people to see that.
Me neither.
All right.
Excellent. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Oh, thank
Is that
you.
nice meeting
I
you?
can't
Go
wait
Red
to see
Sox?
it.
Yeah, when you're gonna come?
I do not yet.
All right. Well,
because we're
hopefully,
doing.
you can tell us to let us know so we can say hi after.
Yeah, for sure.
He's gonna get to experience Spelling Bee tonight.
I've never seen it. I've been wanting to.
Super good.
All right, thank you for your time.
Good night.
Yes.
Please introduce yourselves and give us a little bit of your background.
You want me to go first? I'm Kurt Ziske. I am originally from San Francisco by way of New York. My wife and I just recently relocated to New Hampshire. So we now live in Peterborough. And I've been a professional actor for a long time. Maybe, I think probably 46 years. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm Anne-Marie Cusson. I'm playing Virginia Butley. I'm a longtime New Yorker, but I'm a native of New Hampshire. I grew up in Manchester.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. So, so this is a treat to be in New England for a couple of weeks. This is a very quick moment of theater for this, for Native Gardens. Yeah.
So I asked them, and because I'm fascinated by what hooks an actor. Because I have so many friends who would not touch a stage to save their life, or they just, you'll never get me up there. What was the hook? Was there a show you saw, or a show you were in, and you're like, I could do this. I'm really liking what's happening.
Well, when I was a kid, I saw Mark Singer do a very famous production of Bill Ball's Taming of the Shrew at American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. And it's not that I thought I could do that, but I certainly wanted to give it a try. It was a land-breaking production, groundbreaking production in the late 60s, early 70s. And when I first got into the theater, I got into the theater in college. I went to Stanford. And it's the one place that felt like home to me. The people felt like home, the world felt like home. It just felt like this is what I should do. Yeah. And that was a long time ago, so I've been doing it ever since.
But acting,
Yep.
so
Yep.
you weren't like, oh, I should do lighting, or I'm fascinated with sound.
I've always been interested in trying to tell stories and tell the truth. And I think that basically is what acting boils down to, is just telling the truth in an imaginary circumstance and trying to see if you can get people in the palm of your hand. I like that.
Ooh, we're gonna come back to that.
You know, so.
I don't have a moment. It was always there for me. I always, in school, in grammar school, in high school, I was always, speech and drama, and I think it was because I'm the only one in my family that does anything like this. So I think
Me too. Yeah.
it took a while to have the courage to commit to the life of it, because the life of it is everything that happens, not just on stage, not just in the rehearsal, but how we spend our days in between times, how we feed ourselves in between times, physically, but mentally, our hearts, our souls, and that's a big challenge to accept that path. And to know that you're driving your own boat. So
It is not the easiest road to walk.
no, and everyone's path is different. And so there was a time when I was younger where I would look at people that I admired and think, oh, I should do that. How did they get there? Well, I'm going to do that. It took a while, but I had to let that philosophy go and have really experienced deeply that I got to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your own thing then in this case?
Meaning I have to I can't follow somebody else's it's a hard question to answer. I have to find my own way. I have to do what feels right for me, because I'm not right for every role, or I'm not right, I have to pursue what speaks to me, and there's a lot of noise out there, so I have to make sure I listen to my own urgings.
Ooh, baby, we are flying by at the whole time frames. NH Unscripted is what you are listening to. We are happy to be out of bed today. I'll tell you, we are coming to you from the YMCA-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. We are listening to interviews over at the Peterborough Players. Such a great time. We're going to finish it up here shortly. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. My goodness, the time just flies. We are coming to you from the Car 54-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. Yeah, I would do my Tootie Muldoon impression, but that's okay. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Should you happen to go out there, you can find a button where you can listen to live. This show comes to you every Wednesday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Plus, there's a lot of archive stuff out there. NHTalkRadio.com, a lot of archive stuff out there. I had the chance to go out, as I said previously, to visit the Peterborough Players on their campus. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. My goodness. And they do such great work out there. I just can't say enough about all they've done. I saw Boeing out there. I saw Spelling Bee. Oh, my goodness. It's crazy. They're just great stuff. So I was asked to go out and interview the cast of the show, the upcoming production, Native Gardens. And it was a wonderful time. And I apologize for kind of pushing through this whole episode, but we wanted to get so much of it in. I spent so much time talking with them. It's just great to talk with actors. They love to talk. And B, I love for folks to know what goes through an actor's mind and how they do things and how they achieve what they achieve on the other side. You always see the productions, but it's great to be able to actually see what goes through their mind as they weave their way through their characters. Are we almost ready to cue up the episode? All right, let's kick back in.
How important do you think that is to the younger?
Oh, everything. And that is
Yeah.
a tough, I think that's a tough lesson to learn, if you want to call it that way, or because there's so much noise out there and you watch it, especially now with social media, et cetera, we are all privy to everybody else's paths and their careers and everything. And it's easy to get lost in and abandon yourself by trying to follow something that's not you.
Yeah.
So as soon as any individual person can tap into what is real for them and follow that, it's know yourself. Shakespeare said it. Know thyself. To thine own self be true. And it's a hard lesson, but once you get it, boy.
Yeah.
So you've gotten that?
I have that.
He's putting
That's
on
the
Because I'm still
North
figuring that
Star.
out.
No, that's the North Star. You know, we all get.
Sounds like he's still working on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's a young man.
I'm a young man. That's right. All I really wanted to do was have a fishing boat out of San Francisco wharf. So this is all sort of a different journey for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
If you, how do I phrase this? You mentioned something, Kurt, about not controlling the audience, but
having them in the palm of your hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Explain that a little bit more for people who don't understand what that means and why it's important.
Well, it's like the one thing that's lovely about live theater. George Scott said, someone asked him why he went back to do theater, and he said, because you get tired of having 16 neurotics between you and the people when you're in film. So when you're on stage, and if you're truly in a moment, you're not only acting, I'm not only acting with Anne Marie, but we're also with everybody else that's in the room with us. And we can move them. Whether they're aware of that or not, we certainly are. And you can tell, especially after you've been doing this for a few years, when you're going to get an audience to release, when you're going to get an audience to hold on. There's certain tricks you can do vocally to do that. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that you can guide people. Comedy is a classic example. How do you guide people to hold their laughter on a setup until it releases on the joke? And there's a way to do that. And I find that really, really fun. And I find, especially in dramatic stuff, which I do a lot of, as I'm sure you do, there's nothing more rewarding than the silence that can happen when people don't know
that
what's
remark
coming.
so much.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. I think we always think people have to be like in tears or laughing or so. But there's a time when you've captured them.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Yes, absolutely. And usually you can hear that when it's silent.
Yeah. You can hear it. That's great. Yeah.
We're old. We were old. So
I mean, you're not manipulating them.
Oh, yes, you are.
Because there's a point that you're trying to get at. Well, I know.
Yes, you are.
But not in the mean sense.
No. That's part of the journey of theater, don't you
Yeah.
think? I mean, that it's not necessarily manipulating, but you're taking them on the journey. You're allowing them to experience vicariously what you're experiencing in an artificial situation, but trying to have it be as truthful as possible.
Yeah.
And truth is different than reality.
Yeah. So there is. Do you agree with that, by the way? Yeah. Okay. Well said. Filled up that space.
We met like 7 days ago, so.
You got. So there's what the playwright had in their mind when it was put on paper. There's the director's vision of or interpretation of what the playwright wrote, and then you're even one step further. You grasp what you think is your character's portrayal on stage, and then it has to be melded with the directors, all hoping that you've actually captured the authors, the playwrights. Do you feel like do you feel removed from that original intent of the playwright, or are you, in other words, do you feel like you're honest at this point? That's okay. That you're honest to the original intent of the play. Like, some people, how do I put this without being rude? There are groups that will take a piece and just feel like, well, I don't care what the author, we're just going to do it, it's going to contemporize it, or, we don't care, we're going to just edit it till it fits what we want.
Well, I guess that's what I mean when I was talking about the truth of the piece or the reality of the piece. The truth of, I've always thought, and I would imagine you agree with me, that being an actor is being an interpretive artist, and the world is created by the playwright. Your job and responsibility is to bring their truth and their vision and their story to light. So the reality of one piece can be very different than another, depending on the world that the playwright creates.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I feel about it.
Yes. Digging down into the text, we can have fanciful ideas, but if it's not based in the text, then this sounds very black and white, then it doesn't belong.
You have to be careful, right? I mean, basically, you have to be careful that you're not seeing something that's not there and trying to put it in.
This is it. I mean, there might be places for that in other kinds of pieces, whatever, but I think what we're talking about here is, what is the playwright, what's the seed of the story in keeping with the gardening metaphor.
I like that with the gardening metaphor. It's very good.
What is it that belongs in our garden? Who these people are, what they're intended. Frank Butley and Virginia Butley are longtime residents in this neighborhood, and they're very welcoming of their new neighbors. And the thing that turns the moment is when there is a discrepancy of where the property line is.
Oh.
And it's
In the play.
And it starts from there. Well, we thought this, you thought that, and that's where the communication and the assumptions and the we never noticed, we never needed to notice, this was never challenged, and the framework of the piece is that it takes place in 6 days. The neighbors have something important that they want to accomplish in 6 days. The Butleys have something important that they want to accomplish in 6 days, and they are at loggerheads on that. And so,
Whew, baby, I'm telling you, there's just so much information. You are listening to NH Unscripted. These are the episodes I really enjoy so much. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sony Walkmans, baby, in Concord. 101.9 FM for the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. There's a heck of a lot going on out there. We're going to finish up my interviews over at the Peterborough Players. In our next segment, we'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted, you lucky listeners. We are coming to you from deep within the bunkers of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. The poor kids get the 8 transistors. We rich kids got the 16 transistors. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Well, I don't want to waste much of your time. We're getting into the final segment of my interview out there at the Peterborough Players with the cast of Native Gardens. Sir, let's just do it.
That's the basis of what's happening, and so there's kind of no room to bring in other things that aren't written. How do we how do we manifest what the Butleys need to do given all of the circumstances?
Right.
So that's a very roundabout way to address what you had asked.
Yeah.
Are you content at this point where you are?
I'd say we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Being really a couple of days and having, like I said before, a truncated rehearsal period because exactly half of the cast is available for a shorter period of time.
Right.
And what we've done is we've staged it, blocked it, meaning
It has a shape. Yeah.
it has the shape, and now we have several days to deepen the work, get more specific about moments and timing, and really talking and listening with each other. Because I'm sure, especially with the folks that are in the other show, they've had to find their bandwidth, we're holding on to lines right now by our fingertips, but that all gets deeper, and that will give us more room to play.
Right.
So, but I would say that we're in pretty good shape.
I would think so. And one of the tricks about working here, because your time is limited, is doing a good amount of work before you get here, so that you can kind of come in ready to play and ready to engage with your partner and ready to be flexible within a certain framework. But yeah, if you show up here cold, it's going to be a hard couple of weeks.
Cold meaning
Yeah.
not having
Worked on lines, learned stuff.
pre-gamed.
Yeah, right. You got to pre-game it up.
Call that being lazy.
Well, everybody works differently.
Everybody does.
Maybe.
And there is something to be said for I don't want to learn something until I know what's coming at me, because it's easy to get stuck into a pattern, but we're really not afforded that luxury here. So you have to kind of learn things. At least I do. I learn things by rote as much as I can, so that I can come in and then just listen to Anne Marie and see what she says and how that affects me, which will alter what I tend to do.
Absolutely.
We've both been at this
Do I have
for
more
a couple
time?
of years. So
Do I have more time?
You can about 1 more minute.
5 minutes. Excellent. So this seems like it would be an excellent play for a black box theater, because it seems very intimate. Do you think it's going to play well on the?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is actually a proscenium play. I mean, just the structure of it is a proscenium play. The way it's presented, because you need to be looking at the two worlds face on side by side. So yeah, this theater really fits it, I think, quite well. You've done it before? Did you do a proscenium?
It was all, all
Me
the
too.
three,
Yeah.
Well, maybe I missed.
I understand the feeling, because it does feel intimate, and but to do it in a theater of about like 244, 248, whatever our seating capacity is, I think it's 248. That's to me about the right size theater for this play.
Are you saying black box? How do
I'm
you mean by
thinking
that?
seating like 90 to 100 people, a small theater
no.
where.
But you're not thinking
you
of
don't
a
have
round.
to like scream, and to get the lines out. Something that would be where people like surrounding you. It's like looking at. It looks like they're your neighbors too.
Well, that's true. That's gonna be true anyway because of the text, because of because of what the conversations are and what the topics are and everything. But I think I did this in 500 seat theaters.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And as far as projection is concerned,
That's our job. That's our job.
Yeah.
And also, this play is has a heightened reality to it, so that also just it encourages that projection, just from its fundamental structure.
Yeah.
So you've done this several times.
I did it. There was what they call a tri-production. It was put up, mounted at one theater. We did a run there. We took it to another theater, did a whole run there, and we took it to a third theater and did a run there.
Wow.
So same cast, same everything, same. The set moved. It was a great set.
Yeah.
But yes. And so it was interesting to bring this to different communities, because we had different reactions. Who was more sympathetic to one couple or the other couple? But I think the writing is very balanced between the two. That actually Robert and Bianca were addressing that when you were speaking to them. I think Robert said it's well balanced, because you can see they have a point and they have a point.
Right. We're all right and we're all wrong. Different times.
So what do you think, as the older couple, what do you think is your largest challenge to overcome throughout the play? Is it not being like stereotypical, just screaming at this younger couple, well, when I did.
So I'm gonna counter your question with a question. Are you talking about as an actor?
Yes.
Creating the character, or
Yes.
what the character of the Butleys in the context?
I'd like to know as you as a performer.
I would say it's finding the nuance of the writing, and to not jump to really obvious, caricatured reactions. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking that because of your conversation about it can be contentious, and you have to be careful that it doesn't be shrill, or it's not like making the audience just like.
Well, both couples at the beginning of this play, we have no intention or desire to do anything but be good neighbors and get along.
Decent, everyone's a decent person.
We're all decent people, and that's where it starts. And then, as things can sometimes happen, it begins to spiral. And yet, I mean, no, the trick is that there is, it's a very funny play. And when we spiral out of control, that can be very funny because people relate to that, you know? So.
But it starts with interpreting up, being reasonable, very reasonable until it's like, then it becomes unreasonable because we've come to loggerheads.
Right. And of course, we're right. So
always. We just I don't want to. Thank you. So you've been around long enough, and I'm sure they have too. But you know, when you first mount a production, it's there, it's ready to go. But as the time goes on and you become more mentally comfortable, more physically comfortable, I'm going to even say more spiritually comfortable with your characters, and they become more relatable to you, you begin to even put more into it, more realism into your character. It becomes more of an actual person. So do you have the feeling that you'll be able to do that with these characters as well?
Oh, sure.
I mean, obviously, we like to think we've discovered everything, and, you know, opening night, it's going to be everything it's going to be, but...
Yeah, no.
That's just the beginning of it. If you're doing a long run of something, there's always a deepening, aha, and this, and oh, I didn't think of that. And even after, for me, after I've closed, you realize a moment that you could. But it's interesting. It's an evolving, living. It's a living thing. It's a living thing, and the audience is, you know, it's live theater, so it's happening differently every night.
Because we have a different acting partner in the audience, so it's always different.
Yeah.
And the longer you run something too, I think the one thing that always improves and deepens is your listening. And I think your listening is really, the more you're listening on stage and working off what you're receiving, the better and truer your performance can become. And that takes its own time, you know, to just hear.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. These are the things that I like for my audience to know, because I can get people into the studio and they can talk all the time about, you know, how great the show is and you know, everyone's going to love it. But one of the things I really enjoy is the mechanisms that go into. I want the audience to understand the struggles, you know, and that it does take time for that thing to clean up and grow up. And, you know, I don't think they understand that quite, you know. If people want to go opening night, and then I have friends who will never go opening night because they want that experience of that thing that's had time to simmer and just kind of cook a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure for me.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
It's a great run. I am going to come
Thank you.
You should.
It is a lot of fun, I think.
It already looks like a lot of fun. What are you talking?
And there you have it. It is summertime in New Hampshire. Grab your favorite squeeze, go out to dinner, go see a play somewhere around the state. There's so much good theater out there. You have been listening to NH Unscripted, as if you didn't know. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Man, it's summertime in New Hampshire. Get out there and see something. My thanks to the folks out of Peterborough for letting me talk to that cast and get those interviews done. We appreciate everybody so much here, especially our sponsors, Shaheen Gordon, the law offices of Shaheen Gordon. Yeah, all right, I'll see you on the next one.